This special episode of iFanboy is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Head over to GoDaddy to get your own piece of the internet. And by Netflix.com. We like movies.
This week in iFanboy, it's all about teamwork.
We're on the team.
Welcome to iFanboy, the video podcast for the comic book discussion website, iFanboy.com. I'm Connor. I'm here with
Josh.
And
Ron. Hello.
Everyone takes direction very well.
Yes, we do. So
get me a drink.
Go. Get him a drink.
That didn't work. Not quite as expected.
And the direction ended. So a lot of times we mentioned that you can email us at contact@ifanboy.com. We love getting your emails, and every now and then we like to answer them.
Yeah, a whole lot.
So we got a really good email in the old email inbox from Eric. And Eric writes in saying that, in his opinion, creative teams, especially the artist and the writer, either make or break a book. And in the past decade, there's been more talented artists and writers than in any other time in comics. And given that, what current comic books creative teams do we think are the best of the best at the top of their game currently going on right now?
And by that we mean like a team that is consistent and stable.
Yes.
This is the writer and the artist, and they're in for the long haul for the most part.
And as a result, this was not an easy list to come up with, because when you think about it, the team is almost a throwback.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back in history, there Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and Neil Adams and Dennis O'Neil and Chris Claremont and John Byrne, or Chris Claremont and Jim Lee, and all those kind of creative teams throughout the years. And that's something that personally I'm a big fan of, is the storied run of two creators working together for an extended period.
Collaboration.
Yeah. And while it happens from time to time now, it actually is happening less because artists take longer.
People jump from book to book to company to company all the time.
Exactly. Fill-in artists, things like that. People get sick.
Well, artists have a lot of freedom that they didn't used to have. It used to be,
you worked for Marvel.
Yeah, you're at Marvel. We're putting you on this book. This is the book you draw.
For 10 years.
Right. And, now it's like, well, DC's offering me more money. I can go do Nightwing for 8 issues, and then I can do a miniseries, and then I want to do my own thing at Image. Yeah. And so you don't get that anymore. And then eventually you get Mark Bagley, who says, you know what, I'm out of here. I've been doing Spider-Man for my entire adult life.
But in the past, and Eric's right, in the past 10 years, we have seen some great teams come together. I mean, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale come to mind.
Really
it hasn't been ongoing. They've been a collaborative team throughout a while. But currently, and we want to talk about specifically the books that are in print right now that you can go out to the store and pick up now and see.
Well, before we start that, what do we say defines, what defines a great creative team? What is it about them?
A good writer and a good artist.
Yeah, but they're not always.
The special chemistry, the little something that the two people work together, and you can tell that they have a good chemistry.
I think Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb are a perfect example, because they seem to do their best work together.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's that creative spark that Jeff Loeb doesn't have with other writers.
Yeah.
Tim Sale doesn't necessarily have one.
But it could be said Jeff Loeb had that with Ed McGuinness on Superman Batman. I mean, it's interesting to see how when you take different pieces together.
We agree.
Oh, I like that run on Superman.
Yeah, but
Batman.
it's not the magic you get with Tim
for
Sale.
Fair enough.
Long Halloween.
There are good people who make a good book, but then there's the magic, and this is what the list is about: the magical creative teams. So
yes, I think you coined it very well.
Thank you.
I'll throw out the first one in there. A book that's been going on for. What has it been? Maybe 6-7 years now. It started off as an indie, now under the creative-owned imprint at Icon over at Marvel. Powers by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oming. Anyway,
I had it wrong for years,
and then
and then he was talking to Oming, and he said Emming, and Oming went, "What are you, retarded?
I just can't do it. I can't do it." Anyway, so Powers has been it's been the two of them from the get-go.
Yep.
There's never been another artist or another writer on that book. Admittedly, it is creator-owned, and so that'd be a little weird. But and it's been going for years, and I think that
fairly consistently.
Absolutely consistent. I mean,
not every month, but it's.
Oh yeah, the release dates. But as far as the level of artistic merit has been,
it's gotten better.
Yeah.
If anything, they've grown together, which is really maybe that's one of the keys, is that at the beginning of the run, it's good, but then as you go, it just gets better and better and better, and it's not getting tired as it goes along. And
they're trying different things, and they're doing, and I feel as if they both kind of stretch their muscles in different ways. I mean,
they will both play with the comic book format.
Yep.
And I think if there's any artist who can really, I mean, I don't know, I don't read the scripts, but I feel like Bendis's layouts, they must be wacky because you see his creator and stuff, and they're at least the spiral layout and stuff. But if there's any artist that can really capture his like ideas for different kinds of layouts. Oming seems perfect.
And Oming has played a lot with the covers.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like there was that while where their different story arcs had different themes to the covers themselves. The covers could be looked at on their own, as well as the layouts and as well as the, you know, character design. And it's really, that's a whole universe they've created on their own. And I think when you look at it in terms of, you know, runs that a creative team have, I think it's going to be looked back on as one of the landmark ones.
You know, they're really an interesting team because whenever I've read about it or heard them talking about it, is that we were talking about what makes a team work. They're one that they grow with each other. So Bendis will do something one month and give Oming a challenge, and then he'll rise to it. And then the next stuff, you'll see that come out in Oming's art without having been asked for, and vice versa. Like Oming will do some of the art that Bendis didn't think of. And I wish I had a concrete example of this, but I don't. But you know what I'm saying. And then he will go, oh right, you can do that kind of thing, and then write that into it, and that's how they grow and they work together. Yeah. It's not like you're a guy on the other side of a phone or a computer that I don't ever.
Right, and they seem to challenge each other a lot. I mean, I know the girl masturbating argument that they had, that one word balloon, that John
Cooch Zap.
Yeah. I mean, that was one that they both had a vision for, and you know whether the right one got printed or not.
There's a joke in there. Yes. We're gonna let lie
somewhere. So, but yeah, so they're
it's been told.
Yeah, so they're a great example of a team.
And it's interesting because Bendis is also on the list again because he's got another almost legendary creative coupling, and that's with Mark Bagley on Ultimate Spider-Man. There are now how many issues?
106 now?
When they're all done, they're going to be at
111. 9?
They'll be at 100. 111 is the first one for Imminent.
Yeah.
So
which is
Bagley's leaving, but
I think it's split between the two artists, but I mean, you don't want to say it's never going to happen, but I feel like that's never going to happen again.
They broke Stan and Jack's record on Fantastic Four, and again, a cohesive vision on a title, and artist and writer working together, and yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I know you're not as big of a fan of Bagley as we are. But
I think
you can take or leave his art. People certainly, art is subjective, but I think you have to respect the run.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've created a vision together.
Those are books that have been extremely consistent.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that stands out about those is that, I don't think that Bagley's art is
okay?
Excuse me.
All right.
Teamwork. Teamwork, we touch each other a lot, apparently.
If you had gotten me my drink, I would have offered it to you to clear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Way over there.
If you had.
Where was I?
It's actually right there.
No, that's yours.
Oh.
Rolling. I think Bagley's art is not. It doesn't blow you away to look at it. I think it's really effective.
But I think it's effective, and I think it blows you away in the context of the writing. I mean, like I can't imagine
it
that
fits.
Book. Yeah, exactly.
I'd be really curious to know what Bagley's stuff works like when he gets another book.
Yeah,
like if it's with another. I think.
Well, you'll see him on Mighty Avengers.
Is he on Mighty Avengers?
He's the fill-in artist for Frank Cho.
Oh.
They're gonna take off. They're gonna skip arcs.
Maybe I don't mean so much with another book. I mean with another writer.
Oh,
yeah.
That is Bendis. Hey, whoa, hey.
Whoa.
I mean, like, what's it going to be like if he's got to write for some other person? Like, he's been working with Bendis for a long time now. It's going to be kind of weird. It's like a first date. Like, do you want to draw that?
I wonder if you get to the point where you're not scared, but like apprehensive to work with a new writer with a different kind of script,
and a different
kind of,
Yeah.
I wonder if you get a comfort zone. Even if you get tired of drawing Spider-Man, still it's like you know what Bendis' script's going to look like. You know when you get it, you know what to expect. Or not expect.
But then name one writer that Tim Sale has illustrated other than Jeff Loeb in the past couple
Darwin Cook.
Check, I don't read that. Batman Confidential?
Superman Confidential, yeah.
Superman Confidential, right, that's what it is. So, yeah. So, that's a good point.
The writing staff of heroes.
Sure, yes. So, another when I read this email and thought of creative team, I actually thought of a book that I don't read. Because I dismissed the entire
ultimately
line.
qualified to speak on it.
But I read the first couple issues. All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. I actually just read We 3, the Vertigo series they did, and
I want to borrow that.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
But anyway, there's something, and Morrison and Quitely worked together on X-Men for a run as well, and now they're currently on All-Star Superman. And there's something about the two of them working together.
Yeah. They spark. There's a spark. It's like a good date, you know?
Yeah.
You get that spark, you know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
There's something about Grant Morrison's crazy, wacky, big ideas and that Quitely can really, really do very well.
With small mouths.
Yeah.
Well, when to hear Morrison speak about Quitely, like, he thinks there's nothing the guy can't do.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that he can think to throw at him or do, Quitely's going to be able to take that
And-
in his own sweet damn time.
And that's the thing, is that I've dismissed the All-Star line as a whole because of the lateness and stuff. It's kind of taken a stand. But like, I was recently in an argument with a friend over All-Star Superman specifically, and the argument was it's beautiful. It's a beautiful book.
it is.
And I
It's
flipped
beautiful
through
to look
it,
at.
and it is a beautiful book. It
You
is.
have other
it is-
comic book friends?
Yes, I do. I've been cheating.
What?
I'm sorry.
The hell?
They're your friends too.
Oh, I know.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so but
Only got one.
It's but it is a beautiful book.
Yeah, no.
You know, and it actually makes me. I might go back and pick up.
And he can draw, Quitely can draw anything that he can draw the big monsters, the big goofy Silver Age stuff, and make it look not so big and goofy in Silver Age, and the
Yeah.
scientists with big guns and things. And
Yeah.
when We Three does, it's about three pets,
Cyborg pets.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
and it's great.
It's really good.
And
Yeah.
it's something like the one guy's crazy idea, another guy's crazy talent, and they just mix
Yeah,
together.
It's very good.
Yep.
So-
Whenever I think of whenever anybody says Morrison Quitely, I just think of that first issue of New X-Men. Emma Frost.
Oh yeah, with the camel toe.
That I was,
I said it. I'm not afraid. So
I also think of that in terms of they're very polarizing too. Also,
Yeah.
like Mark Bagley, in that some people hate Frank Quitely's art.
Really?
Yeah.
I really
yeah.
like Quitely's art. I mean, I really
when
like
X-Men
it.
started, people revolted.
Yeah, I like Quitely's art better than Igor Cordy on X-Men, and hopefully he never hears me say that.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's a big guy, Igor Cordy.
And he's angry.
and he lived through the Bosnian conflict.
I didn't say any of this.
There were shells going off, and he's drawing an X-Men page. Leave me alone. He's very
Let's
tough.
not get political. Other countries.
There was a war.
There was a war. He lived in it.
Yeah.
He came out of it tough. We saw him at the convention. He was mad at the people for criticizing his work, and
Yeah,
He could have killed you all with your barrel.
possibly justifiably so. I'm not arguing with the dude. He was large.
So so Morrison Quitely, I think, are definitely a good current team.
Yep.
You didn't like X-Men.
No, I didn't like X-Men not because of the art, not because of them. I like because of what Morrison did to my characters.
Yours?
Yes, mine.
Okay then. Sorry.
And there you have it.
I know the problem was that I liked some of the ideas, and this is a whole nother show.
It's
but
fine.
I liked some of the ideas.
Get it out there.
I felt as if the execution was a bit rushed, and things were dangling because it was too easy to go after other things and stuff like that. And it was a great idea, and then like the strings came loose.
Beautiful.
The
Beautiful,
Morrison
very
effect.
beautiful. The Morrison effect, exactly, and beautiful when Quitely actually drew.
Yeah, it's true.
and the fill-ins and stuff like that I could have done.
Did
with
he
it.
do? Did he do most of it, or did he do?
He did maybe like a third of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it started off Quitely, then it was Quitely and Cordy, and then they just dropped both of them, and then it was Phil.
Phil Jimenez, yeah.
So, and then Silvestri towards the end, which whatever. So, so what about you, Josh? Is there any current teams? That you think
Well, the
of?
first thing that came to my mind was it's a newer one, but it was Brubaker and Michael Lark on Daredevil.
But not just Daredevil.
Oh right, yeah.
Well, that's currently,
Scene of the
yeah.
Crime.
Scene of the Crime.
That
and
they had done
Gotham
before
Central.
that, and Gotham Central.
So again, two creators that have worked together previously, now currently on a title.
And you can tell they keep coming back like that.
But
They keep coming back to work with it.
but also Captain America. Some of Captain America was Michael Lark too.
Yeah, a little bit. I almost was like, Brubaker and Epting are.
They're up there too.
Who knows when the next Captain America will come out? But when it does,
Is he still gonna be dead?
yeah. Well, I don't care. I really, literally, I trust him to tell a story. I don't care,
Yeah,
whatever.
no.
But like, Brubaker and Bendis are both guys that seem to engender those relationships. You could even say Brubaker and Sean Phillips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a criminal.
So
Sleeper before
maybe
that.
it's not the team. Maybe it's like, but there's. Well, like
It's not so much the characters. but the
certain
team.
writers
Yeah.
engender these relationships that people want to keep coming back and working with them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the other way around, but I tend to think the
That's
writers
true,
are
but in the
doing
same
good
in the same sense that when it is Lark, it's something more special than when it's just some other random.
Absolutely, and
artist.
I think that the other thing you saw from that is when Daredevil started up, it was like we'd all read. Well, you and I had read Gotham Central, and we'd really, really enjoyed it and thought it was really good. And then when Daredevil started up, it was like it felt like they had moved up a notch.
Yeah.
Like the two of them had gotten better.
And similarly,
Lark's
I
art was noticeably better.
I didn't read. I was catching up on Gotham Central Trade, so I wasn't as there with Brubaker and Lark as you were. But that was coming off of a great team of Bendis and Maleev.
Yeah.
And for me, as a Bendis and Maleev fan, I was kind of like, "Ooh, these two new guys, whatever." But it just fell, fell right in line. And
Yeah.
it was really high quality. It was,
And like those, like I think the reason that we picked Brubaker and Lark is that they're making each other better.
Yeah.
Like their work is better for having worked with
Every
the other
issue is better
person.
than the other one.
You can tell. I mean, when we talked to Brubaker, he said he wrote in a script, when you draw this, you're going to give me this page. Like he can.
Captain America.
All right, you can tell though he likes.
Yeah, well,
He loves the art so much that he wants it.
Well, I think then that there's a reason that happens with a lot of the better writers today is that they think about their projects as a whole.
Yeah.
Like they think, well, I'm going to plan this so that I have this
With
artist
an
on it.
endpoint in mind.
Right, but like they're planning out the whole thing of how it looks. Kirkman draws his pages out ahead of time. Bendis has said many times he writes scripts for the writers that he's going, and so they're keeping that in mind. That's maybe one of the reasons those comics are better, because they're thinking it all the way through, as opposed to a guy who's like, here's a script, give it to the editor, and the editor does what they want and get some artists and put it on it.
Yeah, that's why I mean, like the factory concept of a comic, I'm not really a big fan of, where the writer then gives it to the editor, and the editor finds an artist, and then and there's whenever I hear there's little communication between the writer and the artist,
it's always weird. Yeah,
I just kind of get worried. You really want a team that's ingrained, and the writer has a vision that's not only in what's in his head, but he's seeing it visually through the artist that is working on it.
Working in comic books has to be weird because you're always hearing about how at a convention a writer and artist met for the first time after being in a book for like 5 years together. And you got to think, that's got to be so odd.
What I think is really odd is the current. I don't know if it's more recent, but it seems more recent that like the artist lives in another country.
Yeah.
Like
lot
100
of
Bullets.
European
Azzarello and help me.
Riso?
Eduardo Riso lives
Have
in.
good teamwork.
I don't even remember where he lives. Spain, maybe. Something like
Spain.
Either way, he didn't speak English.
Yeah.
I don't know how that worked, but
there's a lot of Italian.
there's
Spain,
that DMZ.
Argentina.
It's the same thing.
So
I don't know how that works, but sometimes that creates magic, and sometimes
sometimes it doesn't. So
yeah.
So any other titles out there that you can think of, or
the other one that came up when you think of a big epic run that's ending soon is Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerra on Why the Last Man.
Yeah,
for the most part, she did most of the issues. There was a little bit of fill in, but the guy that they got to fill in drew in the same style as her, and you almost couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah. Common, unique look for that whole run.
Clean, very clean.
Yeah, and I had never heard of her
Yeah.
when it started, and
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
she's fantastic. And those lines, it's the kind of art that you don't notice it at first. You don't notice it's really good. It's over time, and you're like, wow, it's so consistent, and it's so done with so little.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like she's achieving a lot with the lines and the work.
Yeah.
Raw dog though.
Okay. You're having a rough time this episode.
This is the episode where it all falls
Where
apart.
Josh just said
We had lunch before this.
right before this.
Yeah.
Josh has a stroke.
But Why is a great example of that. Is that Why the Last Man is a great, by the two of them. They did a great job.
And they went straight on through. It's a really good book that, if you think about it, there's all those characters. There's no costumes. There's no anything like that. And you can tell who is who.
Yeah.
And that's
It's just people.
one
Yeah.
thing that's really interesting.
So
A book like that, you can't picture another artist on. Even though there has been one, that artist
he's
was very close to the original.
in the shadow
Yeah.
of her, what she's done. Yeah. So thank you, Eric, for a great question, some great discussion, some kind of really peeling back on what makes a good comic book good. So if you have a question that you want us to talk about, you can email us at contact@ifanboy.com, or you can give us a voicemail.
You could call the voicemail at 888-FANBOYS, which is 326-2697. If you have a question for the audio show or the video show, leave it on there.
Yeah.
And come to ifanboy.com where there'll be a discussion on this. You can say who your favorite creative teams are and if the ones we picked sucked, which probably somebody will think that because they always do.
And before we head out, we got to give a little nod to our sponsors. Netflix.com is a proud sponsor of iFanboy, and if you head over to www.netflix.com/iFanboy, you can sign up for there, get free 2-week trial. They got prices starting from $4.99 and up. DVD rentals, no late fees. They send them to you. You watch it. You send it back to them. The service works great. We love it. We use it. So
I have discs at home waiting to be watched.
Yes.
I'm totally excited. And if I was going to make a website about that, and I needed to register the domain name or have some server space or have them build me a page, I would go to GoDaddy.com, who also sponsors us. And you can go there and you can put in the coupon code iFanboy and you'll get 10% off your entire purchase. And thank you, GoDaddy.
Yes. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next episode.
We're not going to shoot after lunch again.
We just had Chinese food.
I'm starved.
That doesn't make sense. No.